Today, on a special Sunday episode of FilmRiot, we're looking at a whole new way to get music into your project. Welcome to FilmRiot, the show that takes mystery out of the effects and techniques to some of your favorite Hollywood films. I'm your host, Ryan Conley, and today we are looking at Filmstro's new Adobe panel, so we decided to do an extra episode just so we could get this out for you guys to check out. We have reviewed Filmstro on the show before. If you don't know what that is, you can check it out on this episode right here. But today we're looking at that new Premiere panel, which we are going to do in a different way than usual since I wanted to take a closer, more real-time sort of look at it. So here we go.
Logo. So here we have the Filmstro website. If you scroll down, you'll find the panel, which is exactly what we're going to start talking about. You can come here and download it for yourself and give it a shot. But to get our panel inside of Adobe Premiere, we're going to go to Windows, Extensions, Filmstro, and then here it comes, and it starts us out in the library section. I have all the libraries downloaded here, but to start you off, you have some demo themes, some free themes that you can get started with, and you can see it's broken out like mood, which you can get into sad, carefree, tense, scared, or into film and video genre, music genre, instrument palette. You can come in and even to some 60s type sounds, which is great. Into some epic orchestras, solo piano, even vocals. So a really great way to organize everything, and as you can see, a really huge selection of pretty much anything you'd be looking for. But to test this out, we're going to be using it with a scene from Proximity, which has no music. I haven't prepped for this. I wanted to do this as much real time as possible to see what this could really do. So let's jump right in. I'm just going to go right to film and video, and I'm sure they have action somewhere. Yeah, action and conflict. So we'll come in here. And before I start auditioning, first what I'm going to do is come down here and select an in point by clicking that arrow, and then an out point by clicking this arrow here. And then we can go to settings, make sure play with video is on. And now we can start auditioning these with picture. And we can mess with what exactly the song is doing to see the full scope of what we'll be able to work with. And that actually sounds pretty good, but let's check out some others. You know what, that first one is actually working really well, so let's go with that. We'll open this, we'll hit the plus sign to use the theme, and it brings us into our editor. So as you can see here, we have momentum, depth, and power, and we can start changing those on the fly, real time, while we're watching picture, since we come up here to settings and make sure that this is checked. Once we hit play here, they're gonna go in unison, so I'll do that. And I can start changing to see what this will do to my scene. And it'll make these keyframes that you see here as we're playing it. So I'm kind of performing all of these functions as I'm watching the video. But I don't need to worry about each one of these parameters all at once while I'm playing back my video. Instead, I'll go to the beginning and I'll grab and set them to the intensity that I want them to be to start with, which you have to do down here in the keyframes. Otherwise, once you hit play, it's just gonna reset it. And once I have that, I can hit play and start from there. Okay, and I messed with 2 at once since there wasn't a lot of movement between them, but now I can go back and worry about just the power of the piece. Okay, and there was a lot of stuff that I didn't like that I did in there, so now I can come in here, zoom in, and start messing with all the keyframes that I did over time. So this needed to go out a lot sooner than it did, so I could even grab all of those, delete them, and then bring that down even sooner. Then I'd bring that probably all the way down. And once I've gone through and I've done all my tweaking, which I'm not going to go crazy with tweaking this right now, but once I've done that, I could switch over to the soundtrack volume. And if there's anywhere that I really want to punctuate something, so say here, if I really want to give a rising effect to the drowning moment, maybe we would come somewhere around here and let this drop out a little bit, and then build all the way back up through this drowning moment. And say we're happy with all this, we've done our tweaks, we've really dialed everything in. We can come up to here now and we can render. And this is going to compile everything into one audio track for us. And then all we have to do is grab here and bring it right down into our timeline. And we have the music that we just created for our scene that matches how we want everything to move. Of course, we can jump over to sessions. You could save your sessions here to open up so you're not losing the work that you did. So I could save this right now and it's going to show up in my sessions, so I could bring that back up later. And there you go. That's a quick look at the new Filmstro Adobe Premiere Panel.
If you're a budding filmmaker, entrepreneur, or innovator, domain.com is the place to go when the next idea hits you. When you buy a domain name from domain.com, you are taking the first step in creating an identity and a vision for your brand or idea. And the world's top 2 premier and most recognized domain extensions are .com and .net, which means those are the ones that are going to help you build your brand and expand your presence online the best. Of course, domain.com is reliable, affordable, and easy to use. And to give you some love, and they're giving you 25% off their already affordable prices when you get domain names, web hosting, and email. Just use the coupon code FilmRiot at domain.com's checkout. When you think domain names, think domain.com.
Logo.
So there you have it. I'm really loving this panel. For me, it's a whole new way to do temp music. And when you can't get a composer and you can't compose the music yourself, it's the closest you can get to original music. They've also told me that they're working on adding in the ability to turn vocals and instruments on and off. They're adding in hits and risers, which is absolutely needed, and versions for other NLEs like Final Cut. Now, does this replace the need for a composer? Absolutely, 100% not. And I don't think that's the intention. Nothing is going to beat having the creative and original work of an actual composer crafting a score specifically for your film. But for those who can't get a composer, or for projects like commercial work, wedding work, and so on, this is a godsend. So definitely check it out in the link in the notes below and give it a shot. I've also asked them to hook you guys up with a discount, which they did. So use the coupon code right here to get 20% off their annual subscription. But that's it, and I'll see you guys next week when I climb out of a robot rhino naked.